In a distant part of the galaxy, countless alien species had united under the rule of the Galactic Council. They were ancient, powerful, and their civilizations spanned thousands of years. Among them were species known for their advanced technology, unmatched strength, and military dominance. The galaxy had long been a place of order, with these leaders maintaining peace through sheer might. But among these seasoned warriors, one small, relatively new planet stood out: Earth. Earth was different from the other members of the galactic community. It had only recently been invited to join the Council, and most saw it as primitive and inexperienced. The humans, with their limited technology and relatively short history of interplanetary travel, were not considered serious players. To the seasoned alien leaders, Earth's people were viewed as nothing more than fragile creatures from a backwater planet. They dismissed Earth's warriors as weak, untested in the harsh realities of galactic warfare. In many council meetings, the discussions often turned to the weaknesses of humanity. "They are too emotional," one alien general would say. "Too fragile, too dependent on their environment," another would chime in. Earth's lack of advanced technology was a constant point of ridicule. The consensus among the council members was simple: humans would never last in a true, all-out war. They believed Earth's warriors were soft, only capable of handling minor conflicts, nothing like the intense battles that ravaged parts of the galaxy. Despite this, Earth's representatives always defended their people, pointing out humanity's adaptability and resilience. But their words fell on deaf ears. The Council had fought countless wars, faced unimaginable threats, and survived battles that shook entire star systems. What could humans possibly know about warfare that these species hadn't mastered millennia ago? It wasn't long before a perfect opportunity arose to put Earth's warriors to the test. A dangerous rogue species had emerged from the fringes of the galaxy, attacking remote colonies and threatening the stability of the Council's rule. This species, known for its brutal tactics and sheer numbers, had already overrun several smaller, less defended planets. The Council needed to act quickly, but they saw this as the perfect chance to see what Earth's warriors were made of. During a heated council meeting, one of the most respected leaders, a towering reptilian creature with years of battle experience, made a bold suggestion. "Let the humans deal with this threat," he proposed, his voice dripping with condescension. "If they are truly ready to stand with us, let them prove it in battle. Let us see if their warriors are as capable as they claim." Many council members smirked, amused by the idea. They saw this as nothing more than a test, an easy way to prove once and for all that humans were not suited for galactic warfare. Earth's representatives, however, took the challenge seriously. They agreed to send a unit of their best warriors to face the rogue species. But not just any unit. This would be a team from one of Earth's most elite forces, the Green Berets. The council members were skeptical. They had heard of Earth's military forces, but none of them had ever seen human soldiers in action. To them, this was just another opportunity to show Earth's weakness. They expected the humans to fail quickly, overwhelmed by the enemy's superior numbers and advanced weapons. There was even a certain eagerness among the Council to watch the inevitable collapse of the human forces, proving that Earth was, indeed, too soft to handle real combat. But Earth's leaders had full confidence in the Green Berets. These soldiers were different from the average human military unit. They were trained in the harshest environments, forged in some of the most dangerous conditions imaginable. The Green Berets had a reputation for succeeding where others would fail, for pushing through impossible odds and emerging victorious. Yet, the Council had no way of understanding this. They were about to witness something that would change their perception forever. As the decision was made, the Galactic Council prepared to monitor the mission from afar. They would observe every move, ready to declare Earth unfit for future military operations the moment things went wrong. The Council members, with their millennia of experience and hardened views, couldn't fathom the possibility that these humans, these frail creatures from a small planet, might actually succeed. In the council chambers, there was little doubt about the outcome. The decision to send the Green Berets was seen as nothing more than a formality, a way to silence Earth's representatives and put an end to the debate. The humans were walking into a battle they couldn't win, facing an enemy far beyond their capabilities. The Galactic Council waited, amused and curious, to see how long Earth's warriors would last before they inevitably crumbled. However, the Green Berets were unlike anything the Council had ever encountered before. They were about to learn firsthand what it meant to underestimate humanity. The Green Berets, Earth's elite warriors, were not like other soldiers. They were not chosen simply for their strength or their ability to follow orders. What set them apart was their ability to adapt, think, and overcome any obstacle placed in their path. Every member of the unit was trained not just to survive, but to thrive in situations where others would fail. Their training was designed to push them to the very edge of human capability, and then demand they go beyond it. From the moment they were selected, the Green Berets were subjected to some of the harshest conditions imaginable. They were trained in environments ranging from scorching deserts to freezing mountain ranges, learning how to survive and fight in places where others would perish. Their bodies were pushed to the breaking point, and then pushed further. But more than physical strength, they were trained to use their minds, to think critically in high-stress situations, and to solve problems when others would panic. Their training was not just about endurance, though. It was about learning how to be unpredictable, how to outthink the enemy at every turn. In combat, brute strength was often the least important factor. The Green Berets were masters of improvisation, able to take any situation, no matter how dire, and turn it to their advantage. They didn't rely on overwhelming firepower or advanced technology, because they knew that in the chaos of war, those things could fail. Instead, they relied on their wits, their training, and their ability to adapt. One of the most important aspects of their training was learning how to work with the environment, no matter how hostile it was. They could turn the landscape itself into a weapon, using terrain to their advantage in ways their enemies could never predict. Whether in dense jungles, barren deserts, or urban environments, the Green Berets learned to blend in, to strike quickly and disappear before the enemy even knew what hit them. They were not bound by traditional rules of warfare, and this made them far more dangerous than the Galactic Council could imagine. Another key element of their success was their adaptability. While the alien species the Council revered were often rigid in their strategies, relying heavily on technology and pre-programmed tactics, the Green Berets were fluid. They adapted in real time, adjusting their plans based on the ever-changing conditions of the battlefield. If a plan went wrong, they didn't fall apart, they shifted to something new without hesitation. Their ability to think on their feet, to react faster than the enemy could anticipate, was one of their greatest strengths. But it wasn't just their physical and tactical skills that set them apart. It was their mental toughness. Every Green Beret had undergone extensive psychological conditioning, preparing them for the worst scenarios imaginable. They learned to control their fear, to push through pain and exhaustion when others would give up. In the face of overwhelming odds, they didn't falter, they thrived. This mental resilience was something no alien warrior could truly understand. For many alien species, war was a matter of technology and numbers, not the mental and emotional endurance required to survive the chaos of combat. The Green Berets also understood the importance of brotherhood. Each member of the unit knew they could rely on the others completely. They were more than just a group of soldiers thrown together for a mission. They were a team, bonded by shared experiences and trust. In the heat of battle, they worked as one, each man supporting the other, ensuring no one was left behind. Their communication was seamless, their actions coordinated with a precision that came from years of training together. This bond was their greatest weapon. No matter how advanced the technology of the alien species, no matter how strong their warriors, they lacked the unity that the Green Berets had. This unity allowed them to execute complex strategies under extreme pressure, where others would struggle to maintain basic cohesion. The Green Berets could turn a chaotic battlefield into a carefully orchestrated operation, using their teamwork to outmaneuver and outfight larger, more powerful forces. Their reputation on Earth was built on the countless missions they had completed successfully, often against impossible odds. But the Galactic Council had no understanding of this. They couldn't fathom how a small group of humans, without the advanced technology they prized so highly, could pose any real threat. What they failed to see was that the Green Berets didn't need the kind of tools the Council relied on. They were their own weapons, honed by years of training and combat experience. The Council's lack of understanding was rooted in their over-reliance on technology and brute force. They believed wars were won by those with the biggest ships, the most advanced weapons, and the strongest armies. What they didn't realize was that true strength came from within, the ability to adapt, to endure, and to overcome any challenge. The Green Berets were the embodiment of this philosophy. They knew that no matter how advanced the enemy was, there was always a way to win if you were smart enough, tough enough, and willing to do whatever it took. In the end, it wasn't the Green Berets' weapons that made them dangerous. It was their minds, their training, and their unbreakable will to succeed. The Galactic Council had dismissed them as weak because they didn't understand what real strength looked like. They saw Earth's warriors as soft because they hadn't experienced what true warriors were capable of when pushed to the brink. The Green Berets were about to show them just how wrong they were. The Green Berets arrived on the alien planet, a hostile environment with terrain unlike anything they had ever seen. The air was thick, the ground uneven, and the atmosphere heavy with an unfamiliar humidity. The alien enemy had made this planet their stronghold, a place they believed no human could navigate, let alone survive. The Galactic Council had expected that the environment itself would be enough to break the humans before the battle even began. But the Green Berets were unshaken. They had trained for situations just like this. Harsh conditions were not a hindrance to them, they were an opportunity. Every member of the team quickly assessed the environment, looking for ways to use the terrain to their advantage. They didn't see the planet as an obstacle. They saw it as a tool, something they could turn into an asset in the coming fight. The first encounter with the enemy came sooner than expected. The alien forces were aggressive, confident in their superior numbers and technology. They attacked without hesitation, relying on sheer brute force to overwhelm the humans. The aliens had fought countless battles across the galaxy, and to them, this was just another quick and easy conquest. They believed that with their advanced weaponry and larger numbers, the humans stood no chance. Their approach was simple: overwhelm and destroy. But the Green Berets were prepared for this. They didn't engage in a head-on assault. Instead, they used their surroundings to set up ambushes, making quick, precise strikes before retreating into the shadows. The aliens, used to more straightforward tactics, were caught off guard. They couldn't understand how such a small group of humans was able to evade their overwhelming firepower so easily. The aliens continued to press forward, trying to use their technological advantages to crush the humans. But each time, the Green Berets adapted. They moved swiftly, setting traps, using the terrain to funnel the enemy into tight spaces where their numbers counted for nothing. What the aliens saw as their strength, numbers and technology, was being turned against them. Their massive forces became liabilities in narrow passages, where the Green Berets could pick them off one by one. It wasn't just the tactics that threw the enemy into disarray. It was the precision of the Green Berets' attacks. They didn't waste time or resources. Every shot, every move was deliberate. They struck with the kind of discipline that came only from years of training and experience. The aliens, despite their technological superiority, were being outmaneuvered and outthought. They were unprepared for the mental and tactical sharpness of their human opponents. The aliens began to realize that this was not the simple conquest they had expected. Their confidence faltered as they struggled to keep up with the constantly shifting tactics of the Green Berets. Every time they adjusted their strategy, the humans were already several steps ahead, changing their approach and forcing the aliens to react rather than act. It was a level of unpredictability that the alien forces had never encountered before. The Green Berets didn't just fight the enemy, they studied them, learned from every encounter, and used that information to exploit weaknesses. The aliens were strong, but they were predictable. They relied on their technology to give them an edge, but the humans didn't fight on the aliens' terms. Instead, they created chaos, breaking the rhythm of the battle and forcing the enemy to fight in unfamiliar ways. As the battle wore on, the aliens grew frustrated. Their initial strategy had failed, and their attempts to adapt were falling short. They were used to fighting enemies that either matched them in strength or were easily overpowered by their technology. But these humans were different. They were smaller in number, yet they fought with a level of strategy and precision that the aliens could not match. The more the aliens tried to press their advantage, the more it slipped away. Despite the odds, the Green Berets kept moving forward. They took calculated risks, moving into enemy territory and dismantling key positions with ruthless efficiency. They never stayed in one place too long, making it impossible for the aliens to pin them down. The enemy's attempts to mount a counteroffensive were met with swift, devastating resistance. For every attack the aliens launched, the humans responded with precision, neutralizing threats before they had a chance to gain momentum. By the time the aliens realized what was happening, it was too late. Their forces were in disarray, unable to coordinate effectively in the face of the human assault. What was supposed to be an overwhelming victory had turned into a desperate struggle for survival. The aliens, who had once believed themselves invincible, were now on the defensive, retreating from a force they had so thoroughly underestimated. The Green Berets didn't let up. They pressed the advantage, exploiting every weakness they had uncovered in the enemy's ranks. It wasn't about brute strength or advanced technology. It was about outthinking the enemy, using every resource at their disposal to dismantle the opposition piece by piece. The aliens had come into the battle expecting to crush a weaker foe, but they had found themselves outmatched by the intelligence and determination of the Green Berets. As the battle reached its peak, the aliens finally began to understand the true nature of their opponents. These humans were not soft. They were not fragile. They were warriors, forged through years of training and experience, and they fought with a tenacity that the aliens had never encountered before. The Green Berets had shown them that strength didn't come from numbers or technology. It came from resilience, adaptability, and an unbreakable will to win. By the end of the encounter, the aliens had been pushed back, their forces scattered, and their confidence shattered. The Green Berets had not only survived, they had won decisively. The Galactic Council, watching from afar, was left in stunned silence. They had expected failure, but what they had witnessed was a display of tactical brilliance and sheer willpower that defied all their preconceived notions about humanity. The Green Berets had proven that Earth's warriors were anything but soft. Back at the Galactic Council, the leaders watched in disbelief as the battle unfolded. They had expected the human warriors to fail quickly, overwhelmed by the enemy's superior numbers and technology. Instead, what they saw was something they couldn't have anticipated. The humans, these soft beings from a planet many had barely considered relevant, were not just surviving. They were winning. At first, there was silence. The council members sat frozen, trying to comprehend what was happening on their screens. For years, they had believed humans were weak, that their emotions made them fragile and their lack of advanced technology made them insignificant in galactic warfare. But as the Green Berets continued to push back the enemy, it was becoming impossible to ignore the reality in front of them. A few council members, those who had long doubted Earth's potential, still clung to their skepticism. "This must be luck," one of them muttered, watching the humans outmaneuver the alien forces. "They can't possibly keep this up." Others nodded in agreement, still unwilling to admit they had been wrong. They held on to the belief that the humans would eventually falter, that the tide would turn against them, and the failure they had expected would finally come. But as the battle progressed, it became clear that luck had nothing to do with it. The humans were not merely surviving by chance. They were outsmarting their enemy at every turn. They adapted quickly, anticipated the alien tactics, and used their environment in ways the council members hadn't even considered. The precision and efficiency of their attacks left no room for doubt. This was the result of training, strategy, and an ironclad resolve that none of the council members had anticipated. Among the council, a quiet shift began. Some of the leaders, who had once mocked Earth's representatives and dismissed the humans as inferior, now found themselves reconsidering. One of the more seasoned members, an elder of a species known for its long history of warfare, spoke up. "These humans, they're not what we thought." His voice, usually steady and confident, now carried a note of uncertainty. "We underestimated them." Others began to murmur in agreement. There was a growing sense of unease among the council. They had always believed that their understanding of warfare, honed over millennia, was absolute. Yet here was a species they had considered primitive, displaying skills and tactics that even their most seasoned generals could appreciate. The council members who had mocked Earth's warriors now found themselves questioning their assumptions. However, not everyone was willing to change their views so quickly. A few voices in the room remained stubborn, clinging to their preconceived notions. "They're just humans," one council member said dismissively. "This is an anomaly. They can't keep this up in a prolonged conflict." But even those who held on to their skepticism couldn't deny the results playing out before them. The evidence was undeniable. As the battle continued to unfold, the council's disbelief slowly shifted into something else: respect. The humans were not just surviving, they were dominating the battlefield in a way that forced even the most reluctant leaders to take notice. The strategies the Green Berets employed were nothing short of brilliant, and their ability to adapt in real time was something that even the most advanced species in the galaxy struggled with. One council member, a war strategist from a species known for its tactical prowess, spoke with a newfound respect. "They're doing something we couldn't have predicted. They're using the very thing we dismissed: emotion, adaptability, improvisation, as strengths. We assumed those were weaknesses, but they've turned them into advantages." For the first time, the Galactic Council was beginning to understand what they had failed to see before. Humans, for all their perceived weaknesses, had something the Council had long overlooked: resilience. The ability to endure, to adapt, and to overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. In their arrogance, the Council had failed to recognize that strength didn't always come from advanced technology or brute force. Sometimes it came from the will to survive and the refusal to give up. There was an undeniable shift in the room now. Council members who had once dismissed Earth as insignificant were beginning to see the humans in a new light. They were no longer the fragile species from a small planet on the edge of the galaxy. They were warriors, capable of standing toe-to-toe with the best the galaxy had to offer. As the battle drew to a close and the Green Berets secured their victory, the Council sat in silence, grappling with the reality they had just witnessed. The humans had done more than just survive, they had proven themselves to be formidable warriors. The council members who had mocked them were now forced to confront their own arrogance, and the limits of their understanding. The aftermath of the battle left the council in a state of reflection. Some members, now humbled, spoke with quiet admiration for the humans. "We misjudged them," one said, a note of regret in his voice. "We thought we understood warfare, but the humans have shown us there's more to it than just technology and strength. They've shown us that adaptability, resilience, and the will to fight are just as important." Others nodded in agreement, the mood in the room having shifted entirely. The Galactic Council had learned a valuable lesson that day. They had been too quick to judge, too quick to dismiss a species they knew little about. The humans, with their Green Berets leading the charge, had proven that they were not to be underestimated. In the quiet that followed, one of the Council's oldest members spoke, his voice carrying the weight of centuries of experience. "The humans are more than we gave them credit for. They've earned their place among us." And with that, the perception of Earth and its warriors was forever changed. The Galactic Council, once so certain of their superiority, now saw humans for what they truly were: resilient, determined, and capable of achieving the impossible. The final battle was intense. The alien enemy, after suffering numerous defeats at the hands of the Green Berets, had regrouped for one last attempt to crush the human forces. They brought everything they had: an overwhelming number of troops, advanced weaponry, and ships that darkened the sky. It was a show of force designed to erase the embarrassment of their earlier losses and to prove their dominance once and for all. They intended to leave nothing standing. The Green Berets, though smaller in number, were undeterred. They knew this battle would be their toughest yet, but they had trained for moments like this. The enemy had grown desperate, throwing everything into this final assault, but desperation often led to mistakes. The Green Berets were calm, focused, and ready. They had faced impossible odds before, and they would face them again. As the enemy forces advanced, the Green Berets held their ground, executing their strategies with precision. The aliens attempted a frontal assault, relying on their overwhelming numbers to crush the humans, but the Green Berets were ready. They had anticipated this move and had set up defensive positions designed to channel the enemy into kill zones. Every step the enemy took forward cost them dearly. The alien commanders, watching their forces struggle, ordered wave after wave of reinforcements. It didn't matter how many soldiers they lost. They believed their sheer numbers would eventually wear the humans down. But the Green Berets refused to break. They moved like ghosts through the battlefield, coordinating with perfect precision, using hit-and-run tactics to throw the alien forces into chaos. Every time the enemy regrouped, the Green Berets struck again, disrupting their formations and forcing them to retreat. Despite the overwhelming force they faced, the Green Berets never wavered. Their training and discipline kept them steady, even as the battle raged on. They adapted to every change the enemy made, responding with swift, calculated strikes. The aliens, though powerful, were too rigid in their approach. They couldn't match the humans' ability to adapt in the heat of battle. The final moments of the fight were a testament to the resilience of the Green Berets. As the alien forces closed in for what they believed was the killing blow, the Green Berets unleashed a counteroffensive that shattered the enemy's ranks. Using their knowledge of the terrain, the humans had prepared one last surprise, a series of traps and hidden explosives that turned the battlefield into a death trap for the alien forces. The aliens, caught off guard by the sudden ferocity of the counterattack, panicked. Their once organized lines crumbled as the Green Berets pressed the advantage, cutting through their ranks with precision and efficiency. The alien commanders, realizing they had lost control of the situation, ordered a retreat. But it was too late. The humans had already won. As the dust settled and the last of the alien forces fled, it became clear that the Green Berets had not just survived, they had completely dismantled an enemy far larger and more technologically advanced than themselves. The battlefield was littered with the remnants of the alien army, a stark reminder of the price they had paid for underestimating Earth's warriors. Back on the Galactic Council, there was no more doubt. The members, who had once watched with skepticism, were now in awe of what they had witnessed. The humans had not only proven their worth, they had shown that they were a force to be reckoned with, capable of standing against the best the galaxy had to offer and emerging victorious. The council chambers were filled with a tense silence as the final reports of the battle came in. The humans had not only held their ground, they had decimated the alien threat in a way no one had thought possible. The council members, once so certain of the humans' fragility, were now forced to confront the undeniable truth: Earth's warriors were among the galaxy's best. For the first time, the Galactic Council spoke of humans with respect. The same leaders who had once mocked Earth now acknowledged the skill and tenacity of the Green Berets. There was no denying the humans had earned their place at the table. They had proven that their strength didn't come from advanced technology or superior numbers. It came from their unshakable resolve and their ability to adapt in the face of overwhelming odds. The Council began to recognize that the humans brought something new to the galactic community. Their resilience, their ability to think outside the box, and their refusal to give up, even when the situation seemed hopeless, were qualities that many of the Council's member species lacked. The humans had turned their supposed weaknesses into strengths, and in doing so, had rewritten the rules of warfare. One of the oldest members of the Council, a leader who had lived through countless wars, spoke with admiration. "The humans have taught us something valuable today. Strength is not just about power or technology. It is about the will to survive, to adapt, and to fight when others would surrender." There was a quiet murmur of agreement throughout the chamber. The Galactic Council had learned a hard lesson, but it was one they wouldn't forget. The humans had shown them that victory didn't always go to the strongest or the most advanced, it went to those who refused to accept defeat. As the Council formally recognized the human success, Earth's representatives stood taller than ever. They had come to the galactic community as underdogs, dismissed by those who had ruled for millennia. But now, they had earned the respect of the entire Council. Earth was no longer seen as a small, insignificant planet. Its warriors had proven they were capable of standing with the best, and the galaxy would never look at humans the same way again. The Green Berets, having completed their mission, returned to Earth as heroes. They had faced an enemy that outnumbered and outgunned them, and they had emerged victorious through sheer determination and skill. Their actions had not only secured a victory for Earth but had reshaped the way the entire galaxy viewed humanity. In the end, the Galactic Council had been forced to acknowledge the truth: Earth's warriors were far from soft. They were tough, resilient, and capable of achieving the impossible. And now, the galaxy knew it too.